It's when we're going to have the breakthrough that the ego is going to try and self-sabotage, because the ego wants to keep you safe. The ego, we love the ego, you know, it's not a bad part of our consciousness, but it's not who we are. This is who we are, and this is all about, you know, as we come deeper into the feminine, into the being, into our the truth of who we are, which is love, which is the heart. And when we're in the mind, we really are in this place of confusion, in this place of you know, a wandering mind is an unhappy mind. And I really believe that I'm just about to have a massive breakthrough in my head to heart program, and serving these women that are joining this next container in March. And you know, this is my life's work, and it feels like it's coming to this kind of cherry on the top, where I've been very much putting a lot of time and energy into it over the last couple of years. And there's a part of me that sometimes just wants to let it all go, because it's not been easy. It's the hardest path that I've taken, you know. And I mean, everyone chooses their heart. Some people choose to live in a 9-to-5 world, and that's just not for me. And I think for women on this path of wanting to be of service, wanting to, you know, have more freedom, have more, create more from our own source and not from somebody else telling us what to create. This is the journey of the head to the heart, is when we step into the gifts of our heart, the more that we can let the light shine through. And the head to heart journey is really about clearing the blockages in the body and the mind that prevent us from having courage, believing in ourselves, going after our mission, feeling balanced in our feminine and masculine energy. Like, a lot of the time, if we're in this kind of confusion, in this ego-based program, we're going to be feeling very limited, very much in the mind. And yeah, it's such a journey that I've been on to anchor more and more into the heart space. And I'm not saying it's you know, it's taken me, I would say, 7 years, and it's still an everyday practice. Yeah, the work that we're doing, that I'm sharing, that I'm really teaching, is to help you anchor into that frequency, so you can live more in truth, more in love, more in peace, which is the nature of who we are. And you know, I think for a lot of women that have been in this kind of masculine, this doing energy, and that have been having to prove themselves, and you know, working in a more of a high, fast-paced life, burning out, it's really exhausting. I've been there. And yeah, what I can say, and what I've helped support my clients with is you know, going through this ego death, which we sometimes have to go through, as well. We have to let go of everything that's not authentic anymore. And your body is going to keep making you sick unless you slow down. And I see this with so many of my clients when they come to me and they've had health issues, burnout, anxiety, depression, autoimmune disorders. Just the body's giving you a signal. Are you listening? And I feel for us to really thrive in our feminine energy, we need to have rest. We need to have fluidity within our month, depending on our cycle, you know. And that's such a big part of the Head to Heart mission, is guiding women to have more of that freedom within their day, within their week, within their month. And you know, as we are space holders and coaches and yogis and you know, here to share our medicine with the world, we have to be so anchored in our frequency, our belief system, because fear is going to creep up, you know, ego, mind structures, everything that's going to keep us in that place of familiarity. And you know, that's what society wants for us, is to be in that fear. It wants us to feel fear, because we're easier to control. And when we no longer have fear, you know, we can't be controlled. And when we cannot be controlled, we're not in the system anymore. I'm not saying the system's a bad thing, but we're not dependent on the system for our paycheck. And you know, being an entrepreneur is not the easiest path either. And I do believe there's a balance, and a lot of my clients leave the matrix and come more into the mystical living through working together. And you know, that is a transition as well, to get to that place where we feel safe enough to take that leap. And yeah, head to heart is really about feeling safe to take the leap and building that safety within us to continue taking the leap. Like, for one day I want to be a mother, and I want to soon, you know, want to have my business providing for me while I'm having children, and being able to build a community of women and workshops and retreats and programs, and supporting each other through a network of women doing beautiful things. And I think that's really the movement I'm moving towards, and it's a more feminine based way of supporting each other, and just all that. Everything is energy, everything is an exchange. If we can all, you know, I have a friend that does websites, or you have a friend that does this, and then we kind of exchange in our energies, and, you know, give referral fees, and, you know, whatever we need to do to stay in that kind of feminine way of supporting each other, instead of this masculine hierarchy way of living, which is very much, you know, someone's at the top and we're all kind of underneath. And I feel that that's kind of breaking that system down, and that's so much of the patriarchy and how life has been geared towards. And as feminine beings, you know, we have to do things a different way when we lead through frequency, and not through hustle and burnout. And if we continue, you know, doing that, it's going to affect our mental, emotional, physical and spiritual health, which then affects the way that we show up, which affects the way that we relate, our relationships, our children, everything, you know. And that's how we're not in that healthy union when we're disconnected from our femininity, or we're too much in the masculine. That's where a lot of our issues are created, not just physical, but in our relationships, that then create ripple effects in our energy field and our finances. And it's all kind of a synergy. It all kind of is a domino effect. So yeah, I'd love to hear from you if you've been going through a burnout, a transition in your career, wanting to move towards more balanced, holistic living, and finding a job or a purpose that feels more in alignment with who you are desiring to be, and how you desire to lead your life from that feminine energy, from the heart. I have a couple of things that could be of service to you in this transition. So please reach out if that feels, if you feel that alignment.